How's it going, everybody? So I'm back once again with another movie review. This time around, we're talking about the latest film from legendary filmmaker Robert Zemeckis. Welcome to Marwen. As we're winding down to the end of the year, award season's coming, so we're getting a lot of films that could be for award contention, could not be. So I was kind of looking forward to this one just because it looked interesting, especially the visual style. And Robert Zemeckis is very known for really great visuals in his films. If you don't know who Robert Zemeckis is, he's very well known. Like, he's done Who Framed Roger Rabbit, Castaway, The Polar Express, Forrest Gump, and the Back to the Future trilogy, which is kind of there's like a really weird Easter egg. It's actually it's more than an Easter egg, but there's an Easter egg for the Back to the Future franchise in this that was kind of weird. It was almost like a stroking of the ego kind of thing. But nevertheless, I was looking forward to this. I like Steve Carell a lot, even when he does like more serious roles, because I didn't mind Beautiful Boy that much. And it seemed like a really interesting true story about this guy who was brutally beaten within an inch of his life and doesn't really remember anything up until that point. So he kind of has like a therapeutic outlet where he builds these towns, the town of Marwen, and all these real crazy, elaborate little miniature kind of things. And it seemed interesting. I mean, it just on the trailer aspect, seemed like a really interesting story. And even though it was kind of sad, I figured it would just be interesting because you get the little dolls in between where you see the great special effects. But unfortunately, it was a very underwhelming, disappointing experience checking out this film. For this being a biopic, the character Mark really never kept me engaged. He seemed like an interesting character at first, but as the movie went on, he kind of turned into like a eccentric, creepy kind of weirdo, which is I know that's a rude thing to say since he is a real person, but you feel bad for him at first, and then he kind of just turns really weird as the movie goes on. And I don't know if that's actually the case with the real story or not, but there was no connection with him. I never felt like I felt bad for him in that way that I think they wanted me to feel bad for him. But it was just a really weird connection. But Steve Carell did a great job portraying him. Actually, all the actors and actresses did a really great job in this. It's just there was no emotional hook for me. The movie was really uneven. It just never pulled me in like you would think a biopic would, where it would keep my interest. Because the story itself, there's the guy next to me at the screening actually fell asleep. So, it was a very dull movie, especially in the middle part where like nothing really goes on. It looks so much more interesting when you see the trailers compared to when you actually watch the entire full-length film. The stuff with the actual dolls and all that, they're actually some of the best scenes, not only just visually, but the actual interesting parts of the story where you kind of learn how his mind works now that he doesn't remember anything. That stuff is amazing. Like, that special effects that they use, like mocap, whatever they did to make those dolls come to life in those scenes, they look flawless. I actually want to see that technique used in more things. They could use that for so many different other things. That's probably the main positive I could give this movie, is that those sections were amazing. Not only just special effects wise, but they were just really fun moments. And I almost wish that more of the movie was like that, just because it kind of was completely tonally different. But once they went back to Steve Carell as a regular Steve Carell, and then they kind of weave it in and out. So I can give them that they actually tried to seamlessly weave in and out the different scenarios where they're CGI and then they're not CGI. But yeah, it was just a big mess of a movie sometimes when it comes to that stuff. I just don't think I ever really knew what they were going for with this biopic, because it's a story of adversity, but they're also trying to have these fun coping mechanism, funny, weird stories with really dry humor, but it's just, and then there's romance elements, and then he gets friend zoned, and then he turns kind of creepy. It was just, I don't know what this film was trying to go for. I don't know what this film was, if it had a message or not. I just don't understand what this movie was going for. That's really the bottom line of how I could say it. It just didn't grip me. I didn't understand. Maybe it was just the writing was poor, but overall, I just didn't think this was a very good movie overall, unfortunately. Robert Zemeckis has done some great works in the past, and like I said earlier with the Back to the Future Easter egg, I don't know what that was all about with the whole, like I said, stroking of the ego. There was no need to have a Back to the Future reference in this, other than the fact that it was Robert Zemeckis kind of showing off that he did Back to the Future back in the 80s. It kind of just threw me off, because I understood it because I knew it was Robert Zemeckis going in, but everybody else was like, oh, that's cool, that's a DeLorean, basically. But no, why is that in this movie? Is that a part of the real story? Did Mark actually build a DeLorean? So yeah, unfortunately, I don't think I could really recommend this film to most people. It's got some spectacular visuals, but other than that, it really just lacks its substance in every other category. Steve Carell's fine, but the material they give him is just tonally weird, and the movie itself doesn't really try to keep you interested, so I don't really I don't really think anyone else would be interested in this film. I mean, it's okay, I guess, as a biopic. I think there's a documentary about the guy that I've heard is much better, so I'd probably, if you really want to know the story, just watch that documentary. It's more than likely better than this film. But yeah, those are just my thoughts on Welcome to Marwen. Leave a comment down below if you've seen the film. What did you think of it? Did you like it? Did you not like it? Let's get a discussion going. Let's talk about the film, regardless if I liked it or not. But thank you so much for checking out my review. If you enjoyed it, feel free to leave a like, hit that subscribe button, keep up to date with all my movie reviews, trailer reactions, unboxings, and more. But until next time, I'll see you guys later.